Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you guys are having an awesome weekend and that you're enjoying life at the moment. Nothing better than that. We're just going to carry on doing some pulling out of the yellow daisies and planting them in the hedge form. And also I'm going to start telling you a little bit more about how we got to where we are and who we are as a homestead. Yeah, let's just get into it. So I was born in Joburg, grew up with my mom, visited my dad, so yeah, come from a broken family, but I don't think it is a bad thing. Sometimes things happen and there's nothing you can do about it to control it. But in my opinion, I got the best of both worlds. Presents from both, so 2 birthdays, 2 Christmases, and yeah, it was just awesome. There were a lot of ups and downs, and yeah, I don't think no family is perfect. Got to enjoy both sides of my parents, who enjoyed very similar things but also different at the same time. Got to learn a lot about art from my father, as he is an artist, and a lot about clothing and how to make clothing from my mother. But they both shared a very common interest, which was wildlife and the outdoors. And that's where my passion came from. I love animals and love gardening and so forth. And with my family, I was known as the green fingers of the family, because I would plant things in the wrong season, in the wrong time. Wrong place. And now we get told, no, you can't plant it there and you can't plant it now. Now, one thing that I learned growing up is that you can't tell me what I can and cannot do, because I'm going to prove you that I can do it. Growing up, life wasn't very easy for me. I was a very angry child, and that stemmed from the fact that I had muscle dysfunction, which led to me having dyslexia, or learning disabilities. And that is because I was so tired of keeping myself upright, and yeah, by the time it came to me having to study, I was just too tired. That didn't stop me. I have amazing parents. They did everything for me. They tried their best to put me into the best education, and my mom spent a lot of hours with me trying to help me understand certain things. Maths was definitely not one of my strong suits, but I use it in every single day life. And whoever invented the calculator was a genius, because that helps me a lot. We also learned there's nothing wrong with counting on your fingers. If you run out of fingers, you've got toes too. My mom would get very frustrated with me at times, because I would understand something today for the test tomorrow. Come tomorrow, I would fail the test because now I don't understand it anymore. But you know what? That's what makes you stronger. My mom decided to take a job opportunity up in Messina, not Messina, Toyando, managing a clothing manufacturer. So we moved from Johannesburg to Levubu area, where we lived on a tea estate in a really big house. And that is where I spent a lot of time outside. I was also privileged to be able to have animals, ducks, chickens, dogs, horses, but unfortunately my sister on the other hand had asthma, and so it was very difficult for her because every single time I come back from spending time with my animals, she would get an asthma attack or struggle to breathe. So I had to learn very quickly that if I'm going to be near my animals and when I go and spend time with my sister, I had to put on clean clothes and go and bath to make sure that all the animal hair was off me. On certain animals she got used to, like the dogs, but definitely with the horses it was a struggle for her. But you know what? That's what makes you stronger, and you learn from those problems and those issues. But no matter what, it didn't stop me from loving animals and loving gardening. My parents would also go out and go to different game parks. With my mom, I got to go adventures to Botswana and Zimbabwe and all those interesting places, and we would spend a lot of time in the Kruger National Park because it was literally down the road from us. So my love for wildlife stemmed from that. And then with my dad, when he was able to, we used to go to a little bit more fancy places like Timbavati and some Sabi, and yeah, it was an adventure, it was fun. And I eventually, which we'll get to, landed up working in that industry for a while. So when I was about 8, I got held back in school because I was that far behind on my education, well, not education, my ability to learn. My principal at that point in time told my mother he will never make matric. You hold me back. I learned. I passed and I went to the next grade. Yes, by the skin of my teeth, but you know what? I was at least able to do it. Now, yes, things were difficult, but it didn't stop me from being who I wanted to be. My mom, through her research, realized that animals, and specifically horses, help people with dyslexia. Now, when I was 9, we got enrolled into a horse riding school. It was my sister's dream, actually, to be a horse rider. But with her asthma, it was a little bit more difficult. So it was a couple of months that we would go and do horse riding together at a horse riding school in the area. And eventually she couldn't do it anymore because it was just too difficult on her asthma. So I didn't really want to do it by myself. I loved horses and I loved it, but I couldn't go further than a walk because my balance was that bad. It took me a while to even learn how to ride a bicycle without falling over, even with the training wheels. But yeah, it's one of those things. It makes you who you are. And don't let your past define your future. You can change and be who you want to be. It's up to you. The sky is the limit. And when somebody tells you you can't do it, don't take that on. Push yourself to the limits and try and get to the point where you want to be. Anyways, we'll carry on with the story of my life as we get along. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe. It really helps me get to the goal of being monetized. And yeah, have an awesome week. We'll see you again. Bye.